CBA 2, 8th grade Social Studies, 2018-2019. Question 1. It is essential to the freedom and security of a free people that no taxes be imposed upon them but by their own consent or their representatives. The Sons of Liberty, addressed to the public, New York, December 15, 1773. The excerpt above reflects the dissatisfaction of American colonists with the A. Political debates that took place at the Albany Convention, B. Interference of Great Britain in the slave trade, C. Economic consequences of the Great Awakening, D. Economic policies imposed by Great Britain following the French and Indian War. Question 2. Sugar Act, Quartering Act, Stamp Act. These acts contributed to the start of the Revolutionary War by F. Restricting colonial trade with American Indians, G. Imposing regulations on colonial agriculture, H. Angering colonists who believed that their civil liberties had been violated, J. Punishing colonists for resisting the authority of Parliament. Question 3. What was one result of the Treaty of Paris of 1783? A. Great Britain recognized the United States as an independent country. B. Competing Seminole and Spanish claim in West Florida were resolved. C. The British Navy agreed to stop pressing American sailors into service. D. British territory in eastern Canada was ceded to France. Question 4. Unalienable rights. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. The rights listed above were F. Established by a series of Supreme Court decisions, G. Defined by Thomas Jefferson in the Declaration of Independence, H. Established by the ratification of the U.S. Constitution, J. Defined by President George Washington in his farewell address. Question 5. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Declaration of Independence, 1776. This excerpt refers to rights that people A. Earned by demonstrating loyalty to their government, B. Received by becoming citizens of a country, C. Have as a result of being human, D. Are granted after enlistment in the military. Question 6. Which of these is a grievance from the Declaration of Independence? F. Colonists born in America were prohibited from holding elected office. G. Colonists were forced to quarter troops in their homes. F. Colonists were not eligible to become officers in the British Army. J. Colonists were required to serve a year in their colony's militia. Question 7. Which excerpt from the Declaration of Independence best explains why colonists were unhappy about their lack of representation in the British Parliament? A. He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people. B. For imposing taxes on us without our consent. C. He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. D. For transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses. Question 8. The Parliament passes the Tea Act of 1773. Colonists dump tea into Boston Harbor. Which of these completes this graphic organizer? F. Parliament repeals the Stamp and Sugar Acts. G. King George III allows colonists to petition Parliament for tax relief. H. Parliament passes the Intolerable Acts. J. King George III appoints colonial representatives to Parliament. Question 9. George Washington's assistant during the Revolution, member of the Continental Congress and the Constitutional Convention, first Secretary of Treasury, writer of the Federalist Papers. Who is described above? A. Alexander Hamilton, B. John Adams, C. James Madison, D. Patrick Henry. Question 10. The central issue of the 3/5 Compromise was concerning the F. Establishment of upper and lower legislative bodies, G. Manner in which bills and amendments would become laws, H. Portion of federal revenues that would come large and small states, J. Counting of enslaved people for the purposes of determining representation. Question 11. The purpose of the Federalist Papers was to A. Advocate for the ratification of the Constitution, B. Persuade the North of the benefits of slavery, C. Expose the turmoil within the political parties, D. Rally Southern support for the National Bank. Question 12. The Anti-Federalists argued against ratification of the U.S. Constitution because they F. Disagreed with the Great Compromise, G. Hoped to keep the states with England, H. Wanted a parliamentary system of government, J. Believed that states' rights were not being protected. Question 13. Which of the following groups would have favored the Articles of Confederation? A. Anti-Federalist, B. Mercantilist, C. Federalist, D. Loyalist. Question 14. Why did the Anti-Federalists demand that a Bill of Rights be added to the U.S. Constitution? F. To strengthen the authority of the federal government, G. To improve the organization of the judiciary, H. To give each state an equal amount of power, J. To protect individual freedoms from the federal government. Question 15. The settlements of Rhode Island and Pennsylvania were similar in that they both A. Were founded by Catholics, B. Practiced religious uniformity, C. Practiced tolerance of religious diversity, D. Took American Indian lands without permission. Question 16. One primary difference between the colonies of North Carolina and New Hampshire was F. Each colony's view of slavery, G. The topography of each colony, H. Each colony's form of government, J. The level of industry in each colony. Question 17. The success of the militia raised to crush the Whiskey Rebellion was evidenced of A. The power the new Constitution had, which the Articles of Confederation lacked, B. The failure of new excess taxes proposed in the Hamilton system of treasury reforms, C. The resolve of the new American army, which fought with more courage than the British, D. The Democratic Republicans' argument for a stricter interpretation of the Constitution. Question 18. Under the Articles of Confederation, the majority of power was held by F. Congress, G. The President, H. State governments, J. The federal government. Question 19. Delegates entered the Constitutional Convention intending to A. Amend and change the Articles of Confederation, B. Copy the revolutionary French government, C. Rewrite the whole Articles of Confederation, D. Adopt a constitutional monarchy. Question 20. Who negotiated an increased military commitment from France on America's behalf during the Revolutionary War? F. Edward Braddock, G. Marquis de Lafayette, H. Thomas Paine. J. George Washington.